Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
This is 7 at 7 from the Las Vegas Review-Journal.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Renee Summerhour. Let's start off with your top stories brought to you by Nevada Hand's Silver Sky Assisted Living Community. Learn more at nevadahand.org. 7 people were hospitalized in a shooting Sunday afternoon on the US 95 in Henderson that prompted authorities to shut down the highway for several hours. Police say the shooting happened shortly before noon near Horizon Drive. 6 people were hospitalized with gunshot wounds and 2 were in critical condition. Half a dozen police cruisers were parked outside Sunrise Hospital as of yesterday afternoon. The alleged shooter has not been arrested and the scene remained active through Sunday afternoon. No further details have been released. And just a day prior, CCSD students led a march along the Strip on Saturday night to protest gun violence in the wake of the latest mass shooting in the U.S. A group of about 100 people gathered in front of Mandalay Bay, the site of the October 1 shooting. Student organizers, local representatives, and parents gathered, crying out for change to the laws in the state and across the country.
Don't let anyone tell you we can't pass common sense gun reform. Because we can, if we have the political will. Let me rephrase that. We can, if we have the political courage. This issue has gone on for far too long.
Republicans and Democrats are working through the weekend to prepare a proposal before Congress returns from recess in the week, discussing expanded background checks and so-called red flag laws. And Saturday marked the first day of early voting in the Nevada primary elections, with wait times up to an hour in some locations. As of this morning, more than 8,000 people have casted their votes at sites across the valley. Early voting continues through June 10th. As locals and tourists take the sun in this Memorial Day, we wanted to take a look at the water levels at Lake Mead and the increase in shorelines. Review-Journal's James SCHAEFFER has more on this report.
The deepening water crisis here at Lake Mead is no more apparent than with signs like this, the Lake Mead water line from the year 2000. Now, 22 years later, the change is visible. The dropping levels at Lake Mead have been no secret to locals, as images from under 2 decades ago have made the poignant message that water is becoming more and more scarce.
We're hoping for wetter winters.
Doug Hendricks, Deputy Public Affairs Officer of the Bureau of Reclamation Office, point out that lake issues don't just impact available drinking water.
About 50 to 75% of the leafy vegetables that are consumed in the U.S. on an annual basis are grown in southern Arizona or southern California and grown on Colorado River water.
Hendricks wants to remind locals to reuse as well.
If it's secondary water source to water your garden or whatever, please do so.
For the Las Vegas Review-Journal, I'm James SCHAEFFER.
Now it's time for your weather report, sponsored by Star Nursery, your garden's partner for every bloomin' thing. Happy Memorial Day. Today's forecast calls for sunny conditions and a high of near 85 degrees, with wind gusts coming from the northeast at about 13 miles per hour in parts of the valley. Tonight, evening lows around 63 degrees. For the rest of the week, winds will increase to about 20 miles per hour on Tuesday and Wednesday, but temperatures will continue to rise. 101 degrees is forecasted by Thursday. Sunny skies all week long. Mostly clear skies for your evenings, lows staying in the mid-60s to mid-70s. In your business news, sponsored by Bank of Nevada, Bank on Accountability. Just over a week after MGM Resorts International took over the operations at the Cosmopolitan, some executives have left to pursue new opportunities. Nick Ritterstrom will assume the GM role for the Cosmopolitan effective as of Thursday. He is the former president and chief operating officer of the Mirage, replacing Patrick Nichols. MGM did not disclose what other executives have left or where they were going, but affirmed that no one was laid off.
Sports, brought to you by Station Casinos, STN Sports. Download the app today. The Las Vegas Aces beat the reigning WNBA champion Chicago Sky 83-76 Saturday at Wintrust Arena, outlasting Chicago for the team's 6th straight consecutive win, despite the bench unit going 0 for 5 on the night. Asia Wilson scored a game-high 22 points. The Aces return home from their short road trip to play the Connecticut Sun at Michelob Ultra Arena Tuesday at 6 p.m.
In your entertainment news, a surprise guest on the Strip.
Can you say hi?
Hi.
What's your name? Where are you?
Country music star Keith Urban closed his run at the Colosseum with his wife, actress Nicole Kidman, joining him on stage. As she left with fans cheering, Urban joked that it's just a Saturday night in Las Vegas. In your lifestyle news, sponsored by Visit Laughlin, an easygoing getaway filled with good food, good people, and good times on the river. Metro's air support and search and rescue crews were seen working on training exercises with the Las Vegas Fire Department right on the Strip. Police were seen watching as a police helicopter was inches from the high roller for training.
Sports betting, sponsored by Las Vegas Paiute Tribal Smoke and Cigar Shop. The Carolina Hurricanes are -150 favorites over the New York Rangers at Caesars Sportsbook today in Game 7 of their Eastern Conference semifinal series. The total is 5.5. The Colorado Avalanche are -175 favorites over the Edmonton Oilers on Tuesday in Game 1 of the Western Conference Final. The total is 6.5. The Avs are -250 favorites to win the series, and the Oilers are +210.
In your health news, sponsored by Boulder City Hospital, we're here for you when you need us. It's one of the hardest things to deal with for most, the death of a loved one. Review Journal's Jen Obb brings us an emotional journey from the other side, those who break the bad news.
TIP. TIP stands for Trauma Intervention Program. TAMI Johnson says 20 years ago, she encountered a personal tragedy.
What we thought at the time was a detective was at our home giving us emotional support, and it turned out to be a TIP volunteer.
It allows our investigators to have free time, free up their time, so that they can focus on their main responsibilities, which is the investigation of the case.
TIP CEO says the nonprofit works with the coroner's office, hospitals, and first responders. Volunteers are called out to car wrecks, fires, and other tragic scenes.
A lot of our volunteers say it's the most rewarding thing that they've ever done is being able to be there with someone in their worst moment and providing a little bit of reprieve, make it just a little bit easier for that person to go through the worst day.
For those who've been through it firsthand, they're compelled to pay it forward.
Just to be able to be there for them when they have no one else there, that's the most rewarding.
Those interested in volunteering can visit tipoflasvegas.org.
Thank you for watching 7 at 7 a.m. I'm Renee Summerhour. If you have a Roku device, search Review Journal to download our channel. Watch Las Vegas breaking news streaming live on your OTT device. We'll see you back here later today for 7 at 7 p.m. from the Las Vegas Review Journal. Have a great day.
Review Journal Studio, sponsored by Adam Kuttner. Get the maximum settlement as quickly as possible. This 7 at 7 update, sponsored by Pro Group Management. You're watching 7 at 7 from the Las Vegas Review Journal.